Having finally tracked Straken to the epicenter of his nefarious plot, the 3rd Daggerford Irregulars now seek to end his meddling once and for all. Brace yourselves for the final chapter in this tale of twisted fates. Shall the Irregulars triumph, or will evil reign supreme? Okay,
So, surrender.
that's everybody's done their turn at that point, and we go back to the top of the round. Sorry.
I'm gonna shout, everyone into the building, and then I'm gonna use my action to disengage, and I'm gonna move towards the doors, like fire. Like I'm gonna try to get into the building.
Okay. Well, with a disengage action, you're able to weave through the combatants, parry the blows that fly in your direction, and skid into the building. As you're running towards the interior of the building, you're seeing the people who haven't yet pushed to engage in the melee here are actually retreating back into the building. And as you break through and you look, you actually see a whole bunch of people, the 10 farmers who are still on the various causeways across the fungal farm in there, which you see for the first time. So they turn to look at you, blank stares, and then drop their arms and fall willingly backwards into the fungus. And then you see the green and black ooze
Sure, this is fine.
absorb them inside. And you see more of the people who are around you and engaged in that combat starting to try and break away and move in that direction. Only the people who weren't currently engaged.
Unicorn horn that.
You also see Straken moving to a small set of stairs that leads down into the slime, and he's looking at you
Jesus,
the whole time. He starts stepping slowly, one after the other, reaches out a toe, tests the water. Your turn, Speed.
I'm gonna move towards the open door while maintaining my
Yep.
firm.
Do you want to use a well, no, you can't use disengage action.
I
So
can't
they're
use
all-
any actions. I can just move forward.
Do you use your action to still maintain
That's
prayer?
right, yes.
Alright, so the prayer keeps going. These guys all take more damage. You see the radiant red energy just starting to eat away. Again, their clothes start falling off. The skin that's exposed beneath the clothes starts flaying away. Cheek pulls back. You see the teeth as they still push through and trying to get you, trying to attack you. These 4 people,
Have disadvantage.
yeah, let me make the first roll where they all miss. They can't even, their eyes, they open their eyeballs and the searing pain is burning it away as they sort of swing in. They don't even come close to your armor.
Awesome. You're all coming with me, right?
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Thea.
I'm following this red channel of death right now. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
good channel.
Straken is how far away from us?
So you look through, you see ones who weren't disengaged with you are now sort of pouring back through the corridor. Even the ones at the far end who had walked away, and now that the arrow is shot, they all seem they've just dropped their weapons and are breaking into a sprint back towards the doorway, back towards the warehouse.
Okay.
Um,
Straken's a very long way away.
He's 100 feet.
Yeah, alright. So I'm going to try and take out some of the ones that are trying to go back into the warehouse with my bonus knifing. 17.
Okay.
And 1.
Oh, one of them will hit.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it'll be a 19 for the one that does the damage.
Awesome. All right. So one of the ones that run in just like it's completely cleaned up, breaking his spinal cord, flying into the back of his neck. You're like, damn, normally I use this to not hit the targets. It's like a whole new game. Pera.
Okay, I'm gonna go in through the window.
Yep, so quickly, it's nothing at all, no action. It's like a simple action just to unlatch the window.
Yep, good.
And you're inside, you catch full sight, you see the people who are running back in, you see the people who are falling back into the fungal beds.
Problem for later. Straken. 100 feet
Yeah,
away.
he's at the
or
end.
Closer.
Yeah, no, he's
Is that actually within range of a shot or not?
Oh, yeah.
you've
It is,
got
'cause you've got a
120
longbow.
feet range with a longbow, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Am I currently... I wouldn't be currently hidden, but I can use a free action to hide, and then I can plug him.
You would have to drop to the... make a acrobatics roll to jump onto the mezzanine, or one of the galleries. There's like a first floor kind of gallery, left and right. You can
16.
jump onto the right-hand side. So you jump into the right-hand side gallery, land down on a bunch of supplies. Yep, you lay low, hide,
Perfect.
pop up.
Yep.
Shot.
Plug him. Hidden, do I get advantage on the shot?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay. 21.
Awesome, hits.
Good. Uh, 18 damage.
Wow.
Dead.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Just like jams into his shoulder. You
Ah,
definitely
surprise!
penetrated a lung. Certainly surprised. That is for sure. Okay, cool. He reels back, gets his like just touching the edge of the pool with his foot. Like staggers back, looks up, sees you directly, and you've already used your action to hide. From which
This will
you
hurt a little
think-
bit. Next turn, though, I'm out of here.
All right, cool. And yeah, he's not very happy about that. He's like, looks down, some kind of mild inconvenience that hit him.
Damn, arrows, my only weakness.
Augustus,
Charlie attacks Straken.
Charlie. Okay,
The
so
one.
Charlie's moved down. What's the movement on Charlie?
So he moved 60 feet last turn.
Okay, yep.
So he moved the extra little bit.
Yep.
And then
Get Charlie to sit
Alright,
on top
Make
of
an attack roll.
that stairway. Just fill it with Charlie.
one filled stairway with Charlie. Extras.
In fact, get him to go down it and sit like this with his mouth open.
Oh, that's not good.
You have a D4 edition. You're blessed.
True.
Blessed.
Charlie's not.
Oh, Charlie's not blessed.
Oh no. Right.
So that is 15 to hit.
Okay, the python races down to the end as it sort of rears up, attempting to grapple him with its body. Sort of like throws up a hand, holding his shoulder where the arrow went in. Arcane energy flashes around him, and Charlie's pushed back a good 3 feet.
Right.
And what are you doing?
I will. I'm going to sort of. This arrow is still up in the air, isn't it? It's like coming.
Yeah, at this
Is
point,
it-
it's like, shh.
Is it coming? Is it going over the wall? Or
Over
is it
the
going to
wall.
land on the warehouse?
It's going to land on the other side of the wall.
Okay. I am going to book it inside the warehouse.
Get into the red zone.
Yeah, I'm going to get. Well, the red zone's moving too slow for my liking. Actually,
The red zone's moving 20 feet. It's now a full 10 feet inside of the
Pretty
warehouse.
judgmental.
I move to the red zone.
Uh-huh.
And
red zone.
to the red zone. And then I'm going to cast.
You're going to provoke attacks of
Yep,
opportunity
that's
from the
okay.
ones who are attacking you. One of which hits on a 21, 22 even.
Give that guy a promotion briefly.
4 points of damage.
Was he in the red zone though? Because then it's not disadvantage.
No, that was when he was trying to
When he's
leave.
trying to get into it.
He's trying to get in. The bouncers at the door were giving him trouble.
So then I'm going to cast. I'm going to. What's the range on that one? Not close enough. I'm going to cast Chill Touch on Straken.
Okay.
That's a 17 plus 6, so that'll definitely hit.
That's cold.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's 3 necrotic damage.
Awesome.
That makes him stronger. No.
I'm gonna get him and I'm gonna spores him and he's gonna fail that con save.
Never give up your dreams.
But now he can't heal for the time being. That's correct. Chill touch.
Yes,
prevents
no, he
him.
cannot heal.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's good. Bernard.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm going to step this up a notch because this is serious now. I'm leaving the red zone.
Now, finally.
I'm provoking attacks at opportunity as many as you want, Herbie. I don't care. I'm going to soak them all up so you guys don't need to worry about them.
One of them hits you.
Hey?
One of them hits you.
Well, if it's a 15,
Even at disadvantage.
it triggers my.
22. I rolled like 2 19s in a row.
Okay, all right. It's important to know.
It's 6 points of damage.
Make that farmer a captain.
It's good. Down to 6.
But now
Huzzah.
you're clear.
And I'm spending my time running
Okay.
into the room until I get line of sight.
Okay. You run in. You realize you're running parallel to people who don't seem to be paying attention to you. They're running towards the farm, as it were.
Yep.
And they want to drink that Kool-Aid real bad.
Yeah. And as soon as I get a line of sight on Straken,
Yep. So give me a perception roll, because there's like a whole lot of snake between you and Straken.
Charlie gives and Charlie takes away.
15.
All right, cool. Yeah, you catch a
imagine
bit,
Charlie
bit,
does
bit of
this.
Straken.
And you can see like a little tunnel where Straken is.
Yep, you catch sight. He's in cover technically.
Yep. No, I am targeting him with a wand of wonder.
Well, let's see how it
Whatever
goes.
happens, it'll be awesome.
How many more charges does that thing have?
It's got another.
Shoot him with birds.
You got a few of them.
But it recharges every day, right?
Yeah. I think that's 7 charges.
Super cool.
56.
Oh, good old 56.
What is a 56? You cast darkness.
Centered on.
Send it on the target.
Okay, because sometimes it's centered on you. A pool of inky, magical blackness surrounds Straken.
How could this wand of wonder have worked against us?
And Charlie. Charlie, however, feels through vibration, so it's not so much of a problem.
He's in his
Straken does not. This could be a win. The Wand of Wonder has always surprised us and never let us
You
down.
do not know what Straken does
We
that
thought the
turn.
rain was a.
However,
Charlie does.
does Charlie have telepathic communication with you?
Yes.
No.
I want to say yes.
We all want to say yes. But kids, you should say no to drugs.
Let's just take a little.
like this.
You can make this work. Come on. Come on,
Maybe,
Simon.
maybe the tail's not in the darkness and it's like doing this.
Maybe
sort of, you know.
Buddy can communicate with Charlie, who can communicate
Look,
with you.
I can mentally communicate with this. I can mentally command the snake.
You can mentally command the snake.
But can it tell you things?
I mentally command the snake to mentally tell me what he is doing.
The snake is, however, not a telepathic halfling.
Is its tail very articulate?
What's the bubble? What's the distance of that darkness?
Oh, sorry. Darkness is, I believe it's 30 foot.
30 foot.
Confirm it.
All right. So look, there is definitely some of Charlie not in the magical darkness right now.
Very convincing, like etch-a-sketch diagram using his tail end.
I'm like, 2 taps if he stepped in the goo.
Oh, it's a 15-foot radius.
Give me a perception roll for
Oh,
Charlie.
15 feet.
But it's centered on Straken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14
A point you choose within
plus-
range. And since he was pointing it at Straken, it's
Nice.
Straken that he chose.
Yeah.
18.
All right,
And
cool.
Nothing can see through it except for other magic.
So
And elves, right?
No elves.
God damn it.
No.
It is concentration.
I'm going to consider that a held action. All of these other guys. So
dismiss
everyone who
it
is
instantly.
engaged with you guys.
No,
It's at the
why
moment
not
it's
make
to
him-
dismiss.
Why not put him in inky darkness? Now he has no idea what's happening.
Then I can't shoot him with all of these spare arrows I've got.
Anyway.
Regardless,
He's a great holster.
everybody disengages from combat with you guys. And they all make a full dash action. So you all get attacks of opportunity
Yes.
on your newest speed.
Did you tap the tail twice?
We're getting there.
Okay. Because if he moves in, that's an attack of
That's the spirit.
opportunity.
You get an attack of opportunity, don't you?
You're going to have disadvantage on that attack of opportunity, by the way. So everyone gets to make attacks, yes?
Yeah.
Do anyone hit?
I think I hit. I rolled a 23.
Yeah, you swing out, you cut down one of them as they swing. The gradiating, the glowing sword sort of moves through them, they disintegrate into pieces as like you sort of swing it through them.
Oh, wow.
You grab one by the ankle and it falls down and a wayward nail pierces its forehead.
OHS is no joke.
OHS is no joke, kids.
The board at the back goes
6
0
plus 5,
days
11.
without a workplace injury.
No, unfortunately that misses.
Am I even?
You're
near
not even
anyone?
an attack of opportunity. Did you hit?
I think 8 hits.
Unfortunately, no. And you have an attack of opportunity as well.
Never mind.
You get a +4.
We were unprepared for the
It's-
darkness.
It
There's only so much.
Oh no, but we're not taking the darkness.
The people they jump, just getting absorbed into the slime. You get an attack of opportunity.
All right. Now he is not
Or
affected by the.
Charlie's
not affected by the darkness.
possibly one of because
He has
is
blind sight.
then you do not get disadvantage. This is possibly one of the most important attack rolls.
Don't let me
You're gonna have to
down. I mean, I had some bardic inspiration left.
18.
And yeah, okay, cool. And is he automatically grappled?
Ooh. Eat that guy.
Yes. He also takes 7,
So he's the
8,
source of the darkness.
9, 10, 11, 12 bludgeoning damage.
Wow.
Wow.
So technically.
Okay.
He's
And-
Charlie
having a
needs to
good
make a
time.
Constitution saving throw.
The darkness?
I'm confused.
How is it possible?
Until he dismisses the concentration.
Well, up to 10 minutes.
Charlie takes
He spores him!
11 points
I
of
hate
damage.
him! How does his
Wow.
spore work?
Why do his spores work so well?
Oh,
Is
right.
it because he's a better spore druid?
Shut up! The spawned part of Charlie is he darkness, you don't see it.
And what does he do once he's got him
actually true.
grappled?
We have a
Hmm?
spore
Oh, he
druid
moves
stick,
him
and we have
away.
a sheet.
Oh, so you've still got a move action.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so Charlie you see like Charlie's tail flick, tap tap, writhe around, and then Charlie's head and intertwined body rises up with a straken, and you see as straken pulls
Fantastic.
out of the darkness is centered on straken, isn't
Yes,
it?
so he
No, but it
emanates-
doesn't, no, it doesn't keep
he-
moving.
He actually emanates
Oh.
darkness.
No,
and
no,
things
dark-
can
emanates
blockade that
darkness.
darkness. If we were to cover him in blankets, then there would be no darkness, for example.
Or like snake mouth.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
It
follow
doesn't,
the
I don't
target.
think it, I don't think it moves.
No, it does. No.
Oh,
It
does
only moves on an object.
Oh, no,
an
an
object.
character.
Okay.
okay.
So emerging from the bubble of darkness,
Oh,
you see
there you go.
Straken's body, and then
Fantastic.
fully attached to Straken's leg is this tendril of slime
Sure, that's
moving
fine.
out from the ooze. You see it sort of rise up in a line, and you see everything as these bodies jump into it. The slime starts quivering, the mold starts quivering, and now there's ripples moving through the whole thing.
You don't go and horn that shit.
And Charlie
Not a
is
bonfire?
moving
Sounds like
And
a,
bonfire.
sounds like a bonfire.
Yeah, so
solution.
Charlie is a contested strength
Gotcha.
test, please.
That's the signal.
so that is 17.
Charlie tries to pull away.
Oh, no.
Go out,
But
wrestle by a
Charlie's
druid?
Yeah, well,
themselves is
because it's
being
19 plus 13.
pulled back towards it. However, he's moved away from the circle. He's moved away from the darkness. He's moving back towards you, but he's being pulled in towards the trough of the farm that is in the middle. And another tendril shoots up and grabs onto Straken's other leg. The tendril starts moving along Straken's body, decided to pull him back. You see Straken's pulling his body is distending in unnatural ways as this tug of war between the slime itself and the giant constrictor starts cracking his ribs and tearing his body.
Is he laughing maniacally or?
No, but his eyes are of steely certainty and they lock on you.
I will spore you before you die. Unicorn horn that shit.
Awesome.
Well, when it's my turn.
And we go back to the start of the round. Stop the round. So, sorry.
Is he within 60 feet of me?
You will need to run further.
If I move 35 feet, will he be within 60 feet of me?
You came 10, So that's 90,
that's
80,
just-
70, 60, 50. Yes.
Awesome.
So what's your movement? 35?
35.
Yeah.
All right.
You can get to within 50 feet of him, I believe.
Great. Toll of the Dead.
Twin spirits once more rise up. Because the rain is not there, you can no longer see the spiritual aspect of it.
But we know.
But you know. Okay.
That's
Fails.
Ooh.
And he's been damaged.
Just a touch.
Uh-huh. So D12.
9.
Ooh.
That's
okay.
much better
That's
than you've
okay.
been doing.
That is much better than I've been doing.
That's a big hit. That's not bad.
You're getting there with practice.
Alright, cool. Awesome. So, yeah. Done.
Yep.
You are now closer to Spear.
Am I in range to unicorn horn that shit as I have been?
Yeah,
told?
absolutely, because that farm, as I explained earlier, runs the entire length of this building. It's like a 40 feet wide by 100 or 80 foot long trough.
If you can try and unicorn straken, I reckon. If he's within range.
I was gonna start with the. I'm gonna unicorn horn the trough, and because I'm using this as an action, we're no longer gonna be in a field of
That's fine.
radiant energy.
Cool. Well, you don't have anyone attacking you anymore. Everything's just all of the
all
creatures
gone
have
into the
gone and jumped into the pit. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. So, how many charges did you want to use?
No, we want to save some for stock. Remember how many I have left, just in case.
Because it doesn't really appear to be kicking off.
They do
without him.
replenish every day.
That's true.
No, I know,
but
but
you've
I think if
used
he's
some,
in
but
there,
that's
No,
right.
we're
I
in trouble.
have.
In town, on the.
I
Well,
used
I-
two.
now
I
that
used
he's
2 of the 9.
helpfully
Okay.
So I used one when we
engaged
arrived
with
to
Yeah.
clean us before
So you
we
have 7
saw
left.
us, and then I used another one on some more chunks
Yep.
at some point. So I have 7 left. I'm gonna
As long
cast
as I hit
2 at the closest area of trough.
Okay. Awesome. It hits like watching a vegetable disintegrate in time-lapse photography. The parts of this thing just, this mass of vegetable matter just start to shrivel and decay. Probably 6 whole meters of it square just and get eaten away from the attack. So maybe, I don't know, 10% of its entire form was destroyed.
Cool.
Better than we've done.
Cool. And would you like to use your movement action?
Yeah, sure. I'll move closer towards Straken.
All right, awesome.
And the giant snake. Charlie.
Thea.
How close are we to Straken at this point? We're still.
Well, you haven't run. You're
I've been staying with the radiant.
You're 80 feet.
Yeah. All right. So there's nothing much else to do except for run towards Straken at this point.
You could take 30 and then throw a knife.
Would I be able to get there with range?
Well, you would have 80 minus 30 is 50?
Is your speed 30 feet?
Yeah, my speed is 30 feet.
Yeah,
So
so,
you-
that you'd have to be 50, within 50 foot of them if you worked 30 feet forward.
A range of a thrown dagger.
Turn.
Dagger bonus knife is 20 foot. 40 foot with disadvantage. Up to 40 feet. So
Right.
Not quite enough.
So you need to take a double movement.
So
Or unless you got a
running-
spell that would hurt him.
Well, I have hideous laughter, but that's got to get closer. That's pretty much. I've tapped out
Okay,
my
you
stuff.
run. You dash.
I'm
Yeah,
running.
like you go full 60 feet,
Yeah.
and you're now within 20 feet of the guy.
Yeah.
All right. Pearl,
He's helpfully grappled.
Helpfully
so I'm
grappled.
just gonna shoot
you'll have
him.
advantage on the shot,
Hey.
Hey.
regardless of whether or not you're hidden.
Unfortunately, it was only a 9. 24. Should get him.
Gets him.
So close to a critical. Anyway. 17.
Into his. It just goes through in between the gaps of the snake and just like hits into his thigh.
Thanks, Charlie.
Very, very, very close to that vital,
Yeah.
vital blood vessel there.
If they exist anymore.
Almost. If only it was a critical, right? But it's a good shot. 6.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Alright, so Charlie, gonna do his constricting thing. That's a. Oh no, it's fine because he does it automatically this turn. Which is fine. He constricts for another 4, 6, 7. No, 4, 5, 6, 10 damage.
Charlie, you're awesome.
And then Charlie's gonna try and pull him away.
Yep.
Again.
So another strength test.
Nope.
Oh, Charlie.
That was 3 on the dice, so I doubt that's gonna do anything.
Okay. Charlie starts to get pulled in.
Nope.
You see tendrils starting to grab around Charlie's body mass.
Oh no. No, Charlie, no.
Sacrifice the tail.
And Charlie makes a Constitution saving throw.
No, that's bad. It's 7. He's
Um,
gonna take that damage again.
Get Charlie to use the
Takes
well-known
7
snake
points of
feature
damage. I've been rolling
and
very
its
low.
Tail drop off.
7. Alright.
but probably 15% of Charlie's body mass is now being dragged in. So now you'll be making those strength tests with disadvantage.
Okay.
And Straken is still being crunched and crushed by
and
this.
I'm going to
Chill touch.
chill touch. 19, that'll definitely hit.
Mhm.
For 1 damage. And he cannot heal.
Cannot heal.
That's the
No, that's
important
important. Alright. So, you see... sorry, Bernard.
Excellent. I will. Wonder, or
There's still this throbbing orb of blackness in the back corner of the room.
Can't get worse.
Wonder the pool.
Oh, it can.
You could arcmage the pool.
Move!
No, I'm actually concerned more about the tentacles, the tendrils that are going from the pool to Straken, and are trying to pull him into the pool.
Oh, so they're just pumping organic matter up through and around his body. His body's now 50% consumed by it, and Charlie is now 20 or 15% consumed by it, and they're definitely there, but they're thickening up and reinforcing.
I'm gonna just in this round, I'm dropping a bonfire on the Straken tendril square.
Okay.
Is Charlie in a grapple with it?
Yes.
All right, then I'm gonna do it in the square that's close to Straken, but sort of 5 foot away along the tendrils to the pool.
Yep. He's trying to break
Just
it up.
set that.
So Charlie's being pulled into the pool. He's been moving away from where Straken was at the far end towards you guys, but then edging more and more towards the pool, and now part of him is in the pool.
Just trying from the picture. I mean, it's kind of a meta question, but is there a place I could put the bonfire?
You want to try and break the tendrils.
But either to stop Straken being assisted by it, or Charlie being pulled into the pool.
Look, everything will help.
Yeah.
So you do the bonfire.
Yeah.
There's no dex roll to be made. It can avoid it. So just roll damage flat.
There we go.
Mom.
Hey.
Nice. The fire sort of burns up underneath it. It destroys part of it, but it does not sever the tendrils. But it is stopping the flow of nutrients from going up into Straken's body.
Nice.
And then Straken acts. So this seething pool in the middle starts to coalesce. It bulges up in the center, starts overflowing either side. So everybody running down the side needs to make a dexterity roll to try and escape.
That's me.
You can make a dexterity saving throw if you like, but it's like suddenly blows the banks and is pushing left and right.
19.
Yeah, fine.
10.
Oh,
Oh, I'm still blessed.
You're 4? Alright, awesome.
Am I in range of this text?
You've been running down towards them.
Yeah.
Only the people who've been trying to get the closest to them.
Surely waves
Anyone within
affect
40
me half
feet.
as much.
Oh,
Strap.
okay. I'm still
what
being
I'm
knocked
not
out.
40 feet, yeah, I'm not within 40 feet.
You are within 40 feet. You just ran all the way
No,
down.
no, I didn't. I moved 35
Ah,
feet.
yes, you
Yeah.
have.
I didn't dash.
You're just watching it swoosh past your feet.
A strength test for Charlie, please.
That is
At disadvantage, sorry, because you were partially grabbed.
Oh, actually,
That's
Charlie's.
Charlie's pulling.
He's really
through.
getting into this.
Charlie is fearful. So that's a strength. So that is a 21.
Do I even have any?
Charlie-
I need to live and find out.
Pulls away as it all condenses. Charlie slithers up and grabs, still holding onto Straken, and grabs onto the pylon around the pylon that holds up the mezzanine, which cracks and starts to break. And you see
Charlie.
part of the mezzanine's like pulled
Well,
down
we
a
need
bit
that
with
food.
weighed up with supplies. So it like cracks and breaks a little bit. Charlie's pulling, but he's pulling away, and with the weakness that you added to the tendril, it's starting to tear. And he's now actually separating himself from the ooze and creating thinner tendrils that are more accessible
Charlie.
between the main body that is starting to coalesce and moving towards Straken and Straken himself.
I imagine Charlie is now the manifestation of no take.
Everyone can
when
make a
we throw.
perception roll.
15.
20.
13.
11.
Cool. Awesome.
6.
So you're recognizing a discernible anatomy. And Peral, from your perspective, up the top, you're looking down and you see the way that all of the shapes are coalescing. It seems to be coming together into some kind of large humanoid form.
That's gross.
With one of its arms reaching out and the tendrils that are now separating Charlie from Straken, forming fingers away from it, and one of its arms reaches up, pulling itself away.
Unicorn horn that shit.
Alright, so who was that? That was Straken's action, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Straken is going to make a strength roll to try and escape from
Charlie.
Charlie.
Good luck, Charlie.
No. Oh no, that's not happening today.
When your muscles turn to goo, you're not as good at getting out.
Awesome. Alright, cool.
Too much time hitting the books. Not enough time hitting the gym.
So we jump straight back to top of the round. Saya. Oh, yeah, so who failed the dex roll? Who got less than 10? Was it just you?
I didn't have to make it though.
Oh, yes, you were too far away.
Just
Did anyone else get less than 10 on the
one
dex roll?
inch
No,
out of
nobody
range.
else
I
was.
didn't have to make one either,
Because you were too far away.
which is a good thing.
What did I get on the desk?
You were 15, same as me.
You were
Yeah,
great.
you got over 10. That's fine. You sort of like pushed back. You're like skating right up against the supplies that are pushed away from the edges. It's only like a 15-foot gap between the end of the trough and where the supplies are stacked up at this point.
So first thing I want to do is move towards the door again, but I want to stay within 30 feet of the edge of what is this goose
Yep.
rocket. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell the dead.
On the goo thing or on Straken?
On Straken.
Uh-huh.
I can target both.
Uh-huh.
Because they're within 5 feet of each other.
Uh-huh.
Very
Yeah.
true. Target Straken and the
What's the
tendrils.
DC?
Yeah, can I focus on the tendrils? It's a noise, it's kind of-
No, because it's very ambient, so it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
vibrating through the whole
Well,
organism.
it has to be within 5 feet, so I guess it would be the
That area.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And what's the DC?
13.
Cool. Straken is fine, but the tendrils start to weaken and thin.
Cool.
Delicious.
Do I need to roll damage?
I know.
No. Cool. Awesome.
And spear.
Awesome. Am I almost in range of Straken? I'm not sure how.
Oh well,
close I
you
am.
are definitely a
At
full
least
30 feet, 40 feet
40
away.
feet away.
At least 40 feet away. You were kind of down the end. You'd only gone in like 20 or 30 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna aim the unicorn horn at the tendrils that are connecting the
Yep.
bodies
Cool.
to see if I can blast them apart.
Awesome. All right, cool. They are gonna.
I mean,
Okay, so
The
the
unicorn horning the
how many charges are you using? Just the one?
just the one.
So there's two sets of tendrils. One is connecting to Straken, and one is connecting to Charlie.
I'm aiming at the ones connecting to Straken.
Okay, cool. So they disintegrate and fall apart,
Fantastic.
and Charlie's strength Charlie is using to try and pull away completely just slingshots as it breaks, and Charlie's head and Straken smack clean against. So give me a strength roll for Charlie just to try and contain the force.
That is a 18.
Good work, Charlie.
Right, Charlie. Charlie's like, so neither Charlie nor Straken takes damage from the immense amount of impact it's caused. So Charlie's rah, sort of writhing in the air, holding
boy,
Straken
Charlie.
in his mass, still constricting.
Yeah.
Straken's a look of desperation in his eyes, like, ah!
Victory.
All right. Good move. Would you like to move at all? Or you just
that wasn't Charlie's
I'm going
go,
to keep
that
moving
was-
forward because I want to get into melee range at some point.
But you want to keep a safe distance from the body biomass.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Whatever safe distance looks like.
You want to stay within charge range.
Oh, HMS range.
You're,
Yeah.
So next
also,
round.
I'm looking out for any exposed nails on the floor.
You know
Saw
this
that
one.
guy back there.
Oh my
Kind
God,
of
that
fool
was-
like him.
Careful.
So in your next round, you will be able to, within a standard movement, reach Straken and Charlie. If you want to. Thea.
I should be close enough now, within range of Straken, although he's just been.
Yep.
You should be able to throw with advantage. Because he's
Yeah.
grappled.
He's
He's
grappled.
hugged. The
Yep.
hug
So
of victory.
as long as
Hug
I'm
low.
within 20 feet, double damage. Well, maybe not. 11, but I'm blessed still, right?
Mhm.
13,
I'm getting close to the
14.
end of that.
Probably.
I think it's
But
only
you
like
have
10
advantage.
rounds.
I have advantage.
Yeah,
I
so
can roll
roll-
again
yeah.
instead.
Ooh.
That's probably better anyway. Nope, no, it's not.
No.
That was.
That was
So 14.
No, that's 14 is the number on the dice plus your attack.
No, because she ignores the attack bonus for an extra 10 damage.
Oh, sharpshooter.
yeah.
Second shot, though.
16!
And you're less.
17, 18!
That's yep, that absolutely hits.
So it'll be the 10 plus my damage.
That'd be 15 plus
Oh,
whatever that
15
is.
plus that, yes. Sorry.
18 damage.
18 damage.
Okay.
Oof.
Dagger. Clean between the eyes. Crack. Cracks up his head. Cracks up his head. And as if by magic, around Charlie's tendrils and around his body, his second skin just peels away and
pulling
falls
my
to the
threads.
ground.
It was his temporary hit points.
Does the
As
circlet drop too?
he, like a newborn babe, no, the circle zaps him.
It was his
fills
fungal
his hand.
form.
He's like a newborn babe. He arises, pink, shiny skin,
What does it do?
hairless
killing
Just hit him
body.
again.
It's his hit points have gone. It just means he's very high level.
So he is a better spore druid than you.
He's just been around longer. He's a different sport druid.
And
He's
Charlie
more of an
needs to make
arsehole.
another Constitution saving throw,
He's
by
been
the way,
wearing
because I think I
people
forgot.
Hmm?
Another Constitution saving throw for Charlie.
You can do it,
I don't get to retro my turns.
Yes, well, you're not the big bad guy, are you?
That's fine. That'll be 15. Well, but no more sporing with the big stuff. Now that you're out of fungal form.
yeah.
Right.
It was just the remnants.
Curse him. Hate this guy.
Okay, so
Gives
that was your
Spore
attack.
a bad
He's
name.
lost, shed his fake skin, and all of his clothes and his hair. He was wearing no armor
He was
anymore.
wearing a people suit.
He was wearing a people suit.
Yeah.
And now there's
And
more
now
people
the real
underneath.
Demon's here.
So, hurrah.
Alright, I'm aiming for the pinkness.
Sweet, luscious pink.
Oh, baby.
Red and the pink.
Okay, the 21 will hit him.
Mhm.
And he takes 13 points of actual damage.
Ooh. Alright, cool.
And I gesture rudely and disappear.
um, Augustus.
I'm going to chill touch. Or not. That's an 11.
Okay, not quite.
Unless I get
advantage on the attack, maybe?
He's
You
right.
That's
guys
an
are not
11.
Blessed.
It's blessed.
So,
Consistently.
no, hang on, is this you or the
This is me. That's a 15.
Okay, cool.
It gets him.
No, blue energy just shoots off.
shoot
You
him
hate
off
this
now.
guy so much. Look at your face.
Oh, it's just the worst. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 of delicious constriction damage.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so-
And
That
Charlie
guy.
is going to remove himself and Straken from this situation.
A contested strength roll against the ooze, which is still grabbing him, even though it is not grabbing Straken.
That is a 19.
Rips it away.
Yeah, go Charlie.
Moves away and is now completely clear. You can make a full move.
He's moving towards the Swacker. Because you're
Yeah,
you're
ready
a
for
long way away,
swacking.
so it's like
Present
full
him for
move away.
decapitation.
It's like you may kill him now.
Charlie, thump, and presents Straken before you. His hands like, he's like pushing with his arms. He looks up and sees you.
just out of touch range. No touching. No touching.
With a sword.
And so you guys can walk in, kill very easy, but he can't be like. He'll be doing that and he's like, no touch attack. No touch attack.
Um,
No touch.
all right,
I'm not in range of his.
Bernard.
Wand of Wonder. Soften him up for spear.
Woo! Come on,
What could,
Jonathan!
what
was
could
all
possibly go
going
wrong?
so
Oh, yeah.
well.
What could possibly go right?
It's been so good so far.
I'm excited. Do it.
That's the spirit.
79.
Nice.
What could it be? Ooh.
I'm so excited. 79 sounds like
I'm
a
feeling
great
positive
number.
about that
Yeah.
number.
You cast Fireball.
Oh yeah!
Okay, now that is going to hit
It's a
everyone
ball.
within a 15-foot range ball.
I believe so.
Oh shit.
That includes
So
you.
I should be less excited about that then.
Yeah, because I think you're all within range.
Right, so it's a Charlie, and Straken doesn't get to roll, but Charlie gets to roll for himself and Straken.
Aww,
Dexterity saving
Oh no,
throw.
they're taking it.
Okay.
That was the
20 foot
five.
radius, yeah.
Looking away.
20
It's
foot
for the
radius. Alright,
best.
so Spear, you get to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh man, this is gonna really hurt, isn't it?
Oh
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
What level is it?
But our cleric's got some potions now.
Oh,
No.
third.
Alright, awesome. Roll the dice, please. Roll the dice. Are you also within
much
20
is it?
I'm
feet?
presuming I was close enough to throw things. but
That's you don't have to be that close to throw things.
no.
Yeah.
All
'Cause
right.
it's centered, it's 20-foot diameter or radius?
Radius.
Radius. Okay. So what's the range on your throwing weapons?
40.
Throw.
But I moved him, remember?
Bonus knife tricks, range 20.
15.
15.
Okay.
17.
17. 21.
Cool. All right. Yeah. You're
7.
you're fine. You're just out of range.
I'm feeling the heat.
You're
I'm
losing all your eyebrows.
Yes.
Make a save for half.
She failed.
I failed my save.
Okay.
Cleric's
Cool.
got
So how
potions.
much damage is it?
30.
30 points of damage.
I'll prove it.
30.
Yeah,
30.
one of them's got a
So
red
by
plus on it.
Straken
half.
takes 30 points of damage. The snake takes 30 points of damage. Spear, you take 30 points of damage.
30 as damage. Oh, look, I'm dead.
You're unconscious.
Unconscious is different.
Remember,
Unconscious.
No, I know.
death save.
He's dead soon.
I've now passed
Alright.
out.
Our cleric
Okay.
is well and
Um,
truly aware of such things.
Charlie?
So I've heard.
He's alive.
I'm still excited
Okay.
by
Yeah.
Charlie's a beefy boy.
Fireball's great.
I got a backup plan. Oh, wonder.
Just aim it at me this time.
It heals.
No more roll of Ronda. I only roll a 79 when it's not near us.
That would have been a great opener instead of the rain.
Yes.
Okay. Boom. It explodes. Things don't unfortunately catch fire so easily with a fireball unless they're oil or things
That's
like
good.
that.
That's good.
Oh, it ignites flammable objects in the area. That are
Oh,
being
okay,
worn
cool.
through.
Well, there's a reasonable chance that
Why didn't until it
Um,
again?
no, nothing is actually. There are small spot fires here and there, but nothing significant.
good.
Following our HNS.
Because there's a lot of food in here.
Well, it's a very
Except for that
moist
nail.
atmosphere because
Especially
there's
after
just-
the rain.
Especially after the rain, especially because of the farm. Like when this thing sort of burst its blanks, a bunch of extra fluid went out. You know, it just
The wand knows.
The wand.
wants.
Trust in the wand.
All right.
It is wondrous.
Did you hit Straken with chill touch last turn?
Yes. No.
Not last turn, the turn before.
Yeah.
So. What kind of spore druid could you possibly be?
Who rolls dice, Paul? Dice!
Straken is going to make a strength test to try and escape from Charlie's grasp.
Did you roll?
Well, I don't
Well,
know. What did you roll?
No, I don't have to. You have to beat the DC 16.
What? Oh yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
No, what did you roll?
Straken's like, turns around and looks at you, and out of spite,
You made these tables so heavy!
he is going to cast.
Explode into coins.
Explain. I love that spell.
Saved me many times.
He casts Eldritch Blast on the closest target, which is obviously not Spear. So
I'm not a
Huzzah!
target anymore.
which is going to
Can you
be
save
probably
me from
Thea.
Eldritch Blast?
I would say so, because I have my singed eyebrows.
What's your armor class at the moment?
50.
Crackling witch energy just erupts around you. No damage.
Were you in the
That's
fireball?
a ranged
close.
spell attack,
I've
isn't
got a
it?
lot of
With provoked attack of
singed-
opportunity.
I gotta turn
It's
around and
Eldritch
look
Blast
at
is
it.
but you weren't in the
Ranged
No,
spell
no.
attack.
I was, on the outskirts.
Just.
attack of opportunity. Only if you've got Warcaster or Sentinel or something like
Okay.
that. No, it's not unless
Worth a try.
it's,
Oh, but I just wasn't
gotta
sure.
ask.
If
No,
it
no,
was
no.
Opportunity
It's
with a spell?
not
If you're
in
like
5th
casting
edition.
a ranged
You need
spell
you
next
need
to a
feat.
melee combatant.
You need a feat to do that in 5th edition.
Everyone's got combat casting. Yeah, that doesn't work.
Alright, good. Yep.
Okay, so however, regardless of Straken's struggles and attempts at spiteful magic against the innocent Thea,
Do it for the way
the large mass, its elbow now fully up, detaches its fingers from Straken and puts its other hand behind it, now standing almost to full height, like some kind of stocky giant standing in the space. It turns around and swings its arm fully back. And that's the end of its round, because it takes a while to do that. Bernard. Oh, it's a lie.
Didn't I just want
Sorry.
I was gonna say.
How far is this mass from Straken?
It's probably about 10, it's cleared like 10, 15 feet away. And it's just gone towards the back of the room with like a big step, has just taken it.
Are there any
It's got
doors or
one
anything
forward.
behind it?
Behind it is the front of the warehouse.
Paladin has her own.
In front of it now, because it's turned around, and in front of it is the back of the warehouse. The back of the warehouse that is built against the walls of the city.
Can I get... Sorry. Can I get between... Oh, this could be the worst thing ever. Could I get between Straken and the mass?
Yes.
Pry that circle from his head.
I'm going to...
Cut him.
I'm gonna tell the dead.
On Straken?
No, so what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna get anywhere near that mass. I'm actually gonna go towards the door, so try to get
Away.
start to get behind it.
Yep.
I'm going to cast, but I'm first gonna cast Toll the Dead on Straken.
Fails. Roll damage.
10.
Oh, nice.
You see this pink skin, these black veins start appearing on the surface. Blistering cracks starting to appear around his eyes. His skin, once baby blue, is now blistered and hard, 3rd-degree burns covering much of its body. It's like... He sort of like just curls up. He doesn't seem to be able to escape. He's still pushing against the snake, trying to slip out, looking towards the mass, putting his hand to his head. Slide. Spear.
I will roll to see if I will die this round. Is that what I'm doing?
No,
That's exactly
3
what you're
rounds.
doing.
Roll to see if you die in 3
Crap, I
rounds.
totally forgot about
2
Steve.
rounds.
I know. I was like, gee, I wish this party had a cleric. Jeez.
Yeah, you remember that cleric
Casting
guy?
Toll of the Dead instead of Cure Wounds. What kind of cleric is this?
I don't
You
have
have a
spells.
potion.
You got
You have
potions.
I do have potions.
Oh,
I
And all
rolled
the
a
people
2.
who are closest to
Awesome.
me.
You are one step closer to being
Towards
dead.
Yes.
Here.
One failure.
Right, I'm gonna run back towards Spear.
Yeah. Spear's right next to you.
I have 4 potions in my bag.
Yeah. I'm gonna fish around and find a potion and like chug it down her mouth.
Leave that to me.
Really?
Throw your dagger at Straken.
Okay.
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
quite. Yeah.
You got advantage.
It's like getting the
Two shots,
sniper
you're in.
No, 'cause now I'm
opening
like-
a Band-Aid kit. It's not,
It's
No,
okay.
it's
You're
like
not
it was
the
someone
cleric.
else's job.
You're the sharpshooter.
2 shots.
3. Yeah, I should have
You've-
just done the
You've
potion.
got advantage. He's still grappled.
14. That's a
And
bit
you
better.
get the 4
And bless.
bonus as well.
Is that still going?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 10 rounds. I think we're running up to like 3.
Alright.
So
So 17 on the
that probably
first
pushes
one.
it over the line. That might be good.
And 2.
Roll again.
2.
No.
Okay.
But that's
So
still
the
that first
one
one.
hits. Oh, it
First
doesn't.
one should hit.
First one should hit. Plus
What did you get to hit?
That was a
17.
Yeah, that hits.
1 plus 15.
16.
16. Okay. Yeah. It goes in through his neck. Blood is pulsing out. And it's red blood. He is not infected like everyone else is. You haven't been able to tell because all of your attacks have been crushing or bruising or burning damage so far. Or arrows that have sort of go in and no blood. This is like...
Classic cult leader. You drink the Kool-Aid.
It's always good to be the tip of the pyramid.
Alright, cool. So, it seems to be bleeding out. He's like gasping and struggling. His strength against the snake is weakening.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
Purple
Well done.
cracks
Sharpshooter.
blistering all over
It's
his
okay.
body.
One of the healers
Hurrah.
of the party.
Surely they
Of
will.
which there are many.
Stand on up. One foot on a box of some grain. Aim for the blood.
Can I ask you a small favor?
Yes.
Can you ready the action to shoot him after my turn? Please.
I stand on up and pose. Having readied an action.
Give me a perception roll, please.
17.
Alright, cool. You see the bleeding baby eyes. Give me your best bleeding baby eyes.
If you can make a perception roll, you might see just a little bit of an eye roll.
It looks like he's crying.
Pauses and some wind blows a little half cape.
I meander up
Capelet.
and I try and spores him.
You're not. These days.
Are you meant to be saving?
I'll get there!
You said you promised!
What's the DC?
14.
You rolled a 13.
Oh.
Take my spores, you
How much damage do you do?
I do.
So much. So much
No,
damage.
I don't. 3!
You can see the spores attacking, like getting in his eyeballs, sort of black moss, like going in his ears and under his fingernails. He's like building, they seem to be meshing in with the black veins that are pulsing through his body, the purple veins from your necrotic damage. But still, he holds on, and you use your held action.
Oh, finally. I complete the eye roll. And
That was my Tygo. That was just my reaction to finish him.
I hit a 10.
Oh,
As
really?
in, you get a 10
I
to
get a
hit
10 total.
Oh.
total. Misses.
Show me the
Thanks.
eye roll.
Okay.
Put you off.
Yeah, it looks like you need to actually turns out you need to look at the target.
Yeah. I will finish the rest of my go.
Uh-huh.
Charlie does. Oh, sorry, that was 6. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
So what happens, see, is that the exploding shards of bone and hardened, boiled flesh exploding from the body as Charlie constricts so hard that he just violently disintegrates, causes your arrow to swish through the empty space.
It's fair.
That's
I was
right.
on target.
Once
Charlie
occupied.
had annihilated the target.
And thwack into the wall behind him. But as this happens,
Now my go.
uh-huh,
I use bonus action.
Uh-huh.
Spear.
You used your bonus action already, buddy. That's the
re-
spores.
Reaction is the spores.
Uh-huh.
Not bonus. Reaction is the spores.
You used that to take your attack of opportunity, my friend.
Not this round. When? I haven't attacked anything.
It's good to know.
Thank you. and I use my bonus action. I haven't even used my action, for Christ's sake. Charlie's had to go, and I've used my reaction.
You ran away from her.
Yeah. What?
Fucking
Then I'm using healing
ranged
word.
heals as a bonus. Crazy.
Healing word for this one. No time to go down now, Spear. Get up.
What does healing word do?
So that's 8.
Oh, that's even
Does that
better than the
mean that?
potion I was
Yeah,
gonna
that
throw.
hair will grow back.
Just straight up.
Get back in the action.
We're just on 8 health now.
And I will reach out and grab Charlie, and he's back in the stick.
And Bernard,
Well, I was
as
running
this pendulous
towards Fallen
arm,
Spear.
which has gone to full extension, reaching back, is slowly momenting
I
forwards.
was rushing towards Spear,
Am I the
mid-knee
closest
slide
thing to it?
towards her.
Because it would be very funny if I got
No, no,
hit by a
so
fireball
just-
and then I just stood up to a punch in the face.
No. It's turned around. It's aim. It's very
the
clearly
wall.
aiming its giant fist. It's like 10-foot by 15-foot fist clear at the back wall,
Fireball.
clear at the wall of the city.
Oh,
Clear
no. Trying to let the
break
army
through.
through?
Yeah.
Because we signaled them with the thing.
Yep, I
Get the unicorn horn.
Snatch the wand and then hit it with it in the fist. With all
Dive in
all
the way of the
charges.
punch.
You had the wand of
Only
unicorn
our
horn in
cleric
your
had
what?
saved us.
Yeah.
Where
And then
is
I
the
could have done
unicorn
that.
horn?
It would have been in her hand.
Is
when
it in
she
your
got
hand or?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we've
so
been
it's
very
just
close to
a
in my
boom,
hand.
fireball dropped it on the ground right there.
Do it, Bernard.
Well, I was sliding to heal her with the potion, you know, but as I slide up on my knees and stop and she's coming to, I take the unicorn horn.
Point it at that
It
fist.
burns. You take 1 point of damage.
Just hold on to it as well.
That's right, I'm still going to try and do it.
Pop some dirt on it. You'll be good.
I'll take the damage.
Forcibly is pushing you away from it.
It's because you're evil.
It detests you.
Because you're evil.
You got the taint.
And you look at it, and you feel this aura of spite coming from it. And you know where it's aligned itself. And that is to the radiant beauty.
Yeah.
And goodness.
I pick it up whilst it's burning, and I put it in Spear's hand. And then I hold her and
Pull
lift
that
it up. And then I go, come on, Spear.
Put the
And
effort in.
then when I realise she's like super groggy and not coming to, I just get the
She's
one wonder and
conscious.
zap it.
She's conscious now, but she's
Wonder,
up.
you're targeting the thing.
The thing.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Come on, Wonder! It's my favorite thing.
You pelt it with butterflies.
49.
49, what could
I'm
it
so
be?
excited. This is the
What
third number
could
we've
it
had
be?
ending in a 9. I just want to say that.
They've all been good so far. The odds. The odds.
Turn.
What is it?
Maybe
49.
69.
49 is a cloud of 600 oversized butterflies.
Oh, baby.
Fills a 30-foot radius centered on the target. The area becomes heavily obscured
No, none of us
for
could hit it.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
But maybe the butterflies get in the way of the wall and
The
provide like
monarchs
a
are gonna
buffer.
The
save us.
deafening sound of the butterflies fills the room as thousands of tiny wings beat in a amazing image of organic beauty. These fungal entities creating a creature surrounded by these wondrous insects like nature and nurture together as the pendulous arm swings through space, smashing into the back of the warehouse. A shudder goes through the whole building. The ground shakes. A crack is heard. A rumble. The beast pauses at that point. So yeah,
His fist.
is in the wall, embedded. It's cracked straight through the back of the warehouse and gone clean into the wall. It is penetrated, not all the way through to the other side, but a considerable distance
Is
into
there
the wall.
any
The
way-
wall itself is rumbled and weak.
Is there any way that I can get to that wall?
You can just run past the creature. Your full dash will take you right to the wall.
No, I just want to get how. What can I do with 35 foot of movement?
You can move 35 feet.
35.
Upward, sideways, down. Depends.
Like,
which
can I
direction you wanna
get
go.
myself kind of like at least to a tiny bit past halfway of it? Yeah. Okay.
You can get between it and the wall for sure. You're just past the body of it, and you're still 20 feet away from the wall.
Great.
Or so you're 10 feet away from
And
the
it
wall.
hasn't fully penetrated the wall.
Its body is its fist. It's like so you saw its fist. It's inside the wall.
But the wall's
Can-
like
It's like it's up to here.
feet wide, right?
Oh, it's not quite that. It's like 50 feet wide. Still pretty wide.
I know my intelligence is not amazing.
Uh-huh.
Follow your heart.
But you're wise. Be inspired.
If per se this thing took its arm out of the wall, would the wall collapse?
Give me a intelligence roll.
Maybe your structural engineering.
Yeah, structural engineering. So you can do it at disadvantage, please.
The other three.
That'd be a 3.
I really have no idea. I mean, it's a really thick wall.
Fuck it, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna get in between it and the wall, and then I'm going to channel divinity,
Uh-huh.
turn undead.
What?
So it has to make I believe it has to make a wisdom
Yeah, it does.
saving throw.
Yeah.
Now you're a cleric.
Okay.
What
That's some
did
clerical
it-
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool.
May
So
not be a healer, but
you
she's
run
a
up.
Turner.
You stand there.
All the charge.
You
Oh no, I know.
channel divinity. Everybody sees these tendrils, like the butterflies that were spiraling the room, start moving away from it, and then just forming these helix-like spirals around Sarya. She stands there.
She's co-opted my butterflies.
Uh-huh. And in this, they start moving, and the thing recoils somewhat. But you don't know what it's going to do until its turn. Spear. You. So Bernard is sitting there. Bernard's like holding his like hands are like sizzling, and you've got this unicorn horn in your hand, and you're looking at him, and he's in quite a lot of pain. And you're like, oh, what
Yeah,
the?
I got 5 hit points. That
And you
one
look up,
damage was
and you
enough.
see there's a lot of butterflies around this creature that's standing, its fist right in the wall, like, deep in the wall, and Sarya in this like beautiful silhouette. What would you like to do?
I would like to shoot the wand at the creature.
Yep.
What?
Whereabouts?
You mean unicorn horns?
Yes, the horn. It's a wand. It's kind of wand.
What?
Magical charges.
Is there? How many charges do you want to sink into it? And is there a part that you'd like to target particularly?
I'd like to target the fist in the wall.
Okay.
And I would probably do 2 charges,
Alright,
which
cool.
means I have 3 left.
Alright, cool. Awesome. It's sort of you see its wrist like break down and its hand slump. Hunks of rotting vegetable matter just fall around you, but you maintain your presence. This penetrating gaze, your eyes glowing purple, staring down this creature. Thea.
I'm close enough to the creature.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yep.
I'm wondering though whether I.
You're within 20 feet of it, so.
Because I can maybe cast True Strike, so the next time I attack it, it'll be.
I imagine it's probably not that hard to hit.
Yeah, just throw things at it. It might be resistant, but you.
I have a portent still in the chamber with a 2. So if we want to put a big deal saving throw against it, we can.
Well, part of the thing is, it still needs to roll to strike that wall. It could stumble and fall next round with a 2.
That's probably a good.
I think I'm still going to go with my.
Yep.
I really want to make sure
Focus.
this is going to.
Whatever your next action is going to be, whatever your next attack is be, you want huge advantage on it.
Yep.
Awesome. Peril.
Okay. I have an oil flask. Can I hoik it in there and try and set it on fire?
You can spill. You have an oil flask.
Oil
Not
flask.
the butterflies.
But they're all
Oh,
around
they
her
do.
now.
What can oil flask do that Archmage cannot?
That's true,
Just,
but
you know.
you just.
Are you out of options?
I'm not really out of options, but fine. I'll just shoot some. I'll shoot an extra sensitive part of moss and just plug it straight in there.
Give me an Arcana roll.
I'll look for it. It's got to have some glowing bits at this stage.
No.
Well, it might. 19.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you are pretty certain, based on you know, when you're part of an ancient elvish lineage, you just occasionally end up in some pretty fancy libraries, and for some casual reading, you took in some forms of shambling mounds and casual things. It reminds you a lot of the form of a shambling mound, which means it probably has, at this size, more than one nucleus, and those nuclei are buried deep inside of its form.
However, they'd usually be around about, special spots.
They could be anywhere. You just hazard a guess.
Yep, I'll just...
Great. Make a roll.
Given that
let's
we've
see
got
how we go.
bonfires on command. 17.
Cool. And yeah, he's just gets absorbed into it.
Exactly. It's so much damage. 4.
August.
This is much more satisfying shooting straken.
I am going to move around to the thing, towards it, and actually just cast Purify. So I'm going to aim it. It's a 5-foot radius sphere on this thing, so I'm just going to target its mass. Try and get all of it
It
in.
only affects non-living matter, though. Correct?
It affects... yes, true. It's not magical food and drink, so that's not going to do diddly squat. In that case, I'm...
Charlie it. Charlie it.
Yeah, but it could absorb the Charlie, is the problem I have.
Charlie in it.
No,
Stick
because...
the stick in it, and
No,
then boom.
No, it tried to eat the Charlie, and so that's
And
why
then
Charlie's not out anymore.
boom.
Nope. Instead, I'm going to thwack it using the Shillelagh and Green Flame Blade.
Cool.
Give it a... Oh, that's an 11 to hit.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to hit it at this point.
Okay. That'll be... How much for you? Actually, it's... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage.
Cool. And what are you hitting it with?
I'm hitting it with a this one of my staff, which is magical and does bludgeoning and bludgeoning damage.
Awesome. Make a DC 10 strength roll.
Ooh.
Cool. It gets absorbs into it, and and you feel it getting sucked in. You're like, whoa, shit!
Right.
You almost lost it.
Mhm.
You done,
Yes.
Brendan?
Come on, Spear. It's all on you, I say.
You're are you still holding on to the horn?
I'm still holding
you
on
let
the
go?
burning horn. I
Take
take my
another-
hand off, and I will cast create bonfire
Mhm.
in the 5-foot cube,
Mhm.
which is where its handhold was.
Yep.
So it's not gonna.
Yeah. So its hand is disintegrated. It's like it's starting. It's like the wrist and the area around the spear targeted is just decaying vegetable matter
Makes-
slowly oozing out of the hole in the wall.
If you cast it under, it'll have to move.
Yeah, I'm worried about the glop that's in the wall. Right.
Oh, there's no glop, it's disintegrating.
It's disintegrating.
Hmm.
It's in the process of
Okay.
disintegrating. It's a big mass. It doesn't all just die straight away, but it's happening.
No, I'm definitely trying to make it dissuade it from hitting that hole again because I know
Okay.
my point.
There's
So-
now a bonfire. It erupts there. It's
Right in the hole
a
under
magitern,
his face.
radiating light through the butterflies, behind Sario's head, as this glowing form, these
Archmage.
helixes of butterflies radiate around her. And then the thing.
Before it takes its turn,
Uh-huh.
I should point out that if it's taken damage, which it has, channeled divinity, like turn undead, loses its effect.
After it's taken damage from another source.
Yes.
That,
As
when
soon as it takes damage, it no longer turn undead. Just doesn't work.
But who damaged it?
Me.
With just a couple of hit points, right?
Probably should have mentioned something.
Well, I didn't want to metagame because I
But you
didn't
could have
mention.
said don't hit it.
Well, but it was my turn was over. I
But you
didn't.
can
want
speak out of
No,
turn.
that's cool. It is very minimal amount of damage.
Oh, cool.
Doesn't even register, technically. But did Spear do her thing before you or after you?
After me.
Right. So really, that was the most significant amount of
Yeah,
damage.
yeah.
It is definitely affected by it. It takes a step back. It takes another step back, as if it's going to turn to run. But then it sort of looks at the stump of its hand, black, decaying vegetable matter falling, clopping back on the ground. And then it launches itself forward one more time at the wall. Just its other hand. This time, crunch!
New spot, same hole.
Same hole.
So it's going
Through the fire. Fire goes out.
4 damage.
Yeah, takes 4 damage. Saya, make a dex saving throw. Exploding stone catches you on the back of the head. Does 5 points damage.
Oh, okay.
It could have been worse.
Okay.
I was so ready for
Everyone else
death.
keeps taking like 20 points of damage.
Fall with a potion in your mouth.
You get knocked prone to the ground. It's just like thuds back in. A crack goes to the wall. You all start hearing sounds of movements of siege engines, of troops, of marching, of wood grinding and creaking from the other side of the wall. Shouts from the top of the wall of various people mustering. Cries go from tower to tower to tower throughout the building. Magical signals shooting up into the air. The city and the army encamped around the city have all come to life around this central point, and you are getting the sound of this brewing conflict echoing through this chamber. Another thud.
Is there a hole through the wall?
Not yet. Again, it goes in now deeper. It goes all the way up to the elbow. Walls, and you see bits of stone starting to pour through the warehouse wall, breaching. Like the walls to the left and the right start sort of breaking between the two warehouses, start breaking apart as the boulders start pulling away. It's gotten through the outside stone. Its fist is now embedded in the earthworks. The top layer of the wall is now sagging in, and large stones are falling down.
Is Straken's crown anywhere?
Perception roll.
Good D&D.
Yeah, loot that corpse.
19.
Yep, you see it shining. Just a little big glob of vegetable matter just sitting there in this ding.
Can I get it?
Yeah, so you're prone, so you have to stand up.
Yep.
So half your movement, and then you do a dash action.
Yep.
So I'll say from 20 feet. Yeah, just run, grab it, put it on your head. It's your action. Come back to you. Spear.
I'm going to. Well, I'm prone, aren't I?
No, you
I got off
you were
the last one.
healed. You do it up in your last
We're still
round.
lying down on the ground, both of us. actually.
Yeah.
We're
You
both
guys
prone.
are both prone.
Yeah, I just woke up to someone telling me to shoot the unicorn horn, so I did exactly that. And now I'm standing up.
Mhm.
Am I able to move to within melee range of the
Yeah, easily.
dude with the
It's-
arm?
it's
Okay, well
right
then
there.
I'm gonna do that and take a swing at it.
All right,
Try and
awesome.
stop it letting this army in through the back wall.
Yep.
And
Nice.
that's a 16 plus 5. So
Yeah, it hits
21.
easily.
Okay, I'm going
You're
to
gonna
smite. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to smite.
Smite makes right.
What level spell do you have?
I only have level 1 spells. So
Right.
that's 2, 6, 8, and then one more for undead, which is another 6. So 14,
Okay.
and 3 of those hits are radiant damage.
Okay, cool.
And plus
Um,
5 from your...
Oh, and
well,
plus 5, so what was it? 14,
19.
19.
You just hack in. The blow itself, the smite, causes the it's a very similar effect to the unicorn horn when you hit it. Its back leg just and half of it sort of just crumbles away. Half of its back leg just falls away and kind of dies. Still up, still standing, still with its left arm sort of thudded into the wall, but it's definitely a bit weaker on that side.
Okay, guys, I made it a bit weaker on that side.
Yay! Alright, so I have my true strike, which now gives me advantage on my first attack. So I'll still do my double daggers, so the first one should have advantage.
Yep.
Which is probably a good thing. Yes, much better. So it's 17 on the first one, and 11 on the second.
They just jelly. Peril.
Right. Things are just jellying in there.
Yep.
Doing a quick perception, can I see if there are any larger flammable casts of things or lit
Investigation
torches or
roll.
anything?
Alright, my job is done.
11.
There are definitely a whole bunch of barrels. You see a bunch of barrels of wine, some rum, some
Brandy.
spirits.
I can spot brandy. I'm rich.
Yep, spirit.
Yep. Cool. I'll grab that and basically run past, hoik it in, and attempt to set fire to it if I can.
Okay, so you go over, you grab it. Give me a dexterity roll. Just successfully smash it open.
Yep. That would be 20.
Cool. You grab it, break open the top, and simple action. So you take a swig, yeah?
Yeah.
Andrew?
Do you have an X on it?
Too late to set it down.
Awesome. So splash. Give me a dexterity roll.
Not as good. That would be 7.
Okay, so like a bunch of it goes on and a bunch of it goes on the ground. You're on the opposite side to everybody else, though.
Oh, that's fine.
So at least none goes on anyone else.
Only doused yourself.
Okay, so you've got it set up. It's not
Yep.
going to be able. That's to the extent of what you can do this turn. August.
I see what you're doing. I actually come up to her. I'm running across, and I'm going to spores her. What I'm going to try to do is basically get up behind her, put my hands on her head, because I don't know if this crown is made for spore people or not, and basically symbiote my network to the crown and her. I'm basically trying to join her and the crown with fungus.
Cool. You
my
can immediately
symbiote.
tell that the crown is some kind of magical item and won't be affected by your standard.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to damage either. I'm attempting to
Create some kind of
The old
telepathic bond.
mushroom mind meld.
give her the old the mushroom-esque capacity. I don't know. Wearing dire
You're trying something. Great, awesome. Just give me a roll. Let's see what you get.
That's a 5.
Groovy. Bernard.
I am going to probably cast a create fire in a spot that is in the doused liquid that he has spilled everywhere but yet to ignite.
Yep.
And I want to do it between the creature and the wall so that it's either going to be
It's not.
standing.
He got to one side of it. There's no liquid between the creature and the wall. He doused all over one side of it, all over the right hand side of the creature.
That's pretty liberal.
Okay, then I will. Where is it? Is it standing? It's got a huge reach, right? It could stand with a bonfire in front of it and still punch over the top.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll just set the brandy on fire.
Cool. The entire right hand side of the creature with the disintegrated arms goes up. It's definitely affecting it. It's burning a lot of fungus. It's burning spores. Parts of it seem that they had been flammable or had flammable toxins in it. Small explosions sort of go off around it. And parts of it just
Archmage style.
kind of deflates a bit and definitely doing damage. Doesn't like the fire at all. Doesn't seem to have a way to get rid of it. And coils. And you're all watching as this thing like pulses. It's like the thin end, the arm going completely into the wall up to the elbow goes thin and tiny and taut, and all of it goes back into its body like a wave receding, and then its body mass just suddenly pushes like a giant pump through the arm into the wall, and this mass just goes and the wall cracks, and you feel the sagging part just like erupt. You hear cries and screams coming from the top of the wall as this eruption happens. The back part of the warehouse now sieves down, rubble falls in further. You've made your way clean away from it. If you were still there, you would have been completely buried in all of the earthworks that just exploded back out through it. You're pretty far away from it, attacking the backside. It's not a big issue for any of you guys at the moment. You're all pretty clear of this, but it's... And then it sort of... The bulk sort of stops subsiding back in through it. Sorry.
Did the wall come down?
It's caved in. It's like now 50% of its height. It's hard to tell because of the debris around the warehouse.
Is anything happening with the crown?
With the
crown that I put on?
Oh yeah, of course.
Looks great.
All right. This crown, if you remember, was stolen from
Your family.
Your
Wentworths.
family. That's right, the Wentworths.
My
Surrandal
family,
Wentworth,
that's
your
right.
family.
Yeah.
Yes, my
That's where we
family.
got the scroll from that had the little amethyst attached.
So, you find yourself, you're not completely attuned to it. You get some idea of what it does, and you're getting visions, clarity. You feel like it has a few functions. And the primary function you can see is that looking around, it's like flashing in and out, is just some sense of true sight. And you can see and identify that this thing is undead. And you can, you maybe think that you might also be able to see things that are invisible. But because it's something that's only just starting to attune to you, it's not something you can really have control over.
What is... So there's like no... I can't feel like a connection or anything to the main beast?
It does not seem that this crown in any way connected Straken to the creature.
Alright.
It just looks pretty.
It was a powerful magical item.
Am I...
If it was really a true sight, it means anything coming to kill him that was invisible, he'd be able to tell if something was undead, if something was, it's... And you've sensed that there are other abilities that you can access them at this point.
Like the laser beam.
yeah, would be by Straken's body, yeah?
Yes. Bits of it. I mean, there's like a shattered rib cage with red hunks of like charred flesh, like some kind of
Yeah,
roast
that
pig, and
Do that bit.
piles of organs just
Sweet
like
beans.
making a circle of viscera
Is
around
there-
where the snake used to be.
Is there anything that catches my... Looking at Straken's
Cool.
body, is there
Anything
anything...
catches your eye?
catches my eye, like my attention, like any objects, any...
There's an upper thigh with a bit of wang.
If you look at it, you spot a strange twig. It looks kind of like a root. It's like twisted and gnarled, but it's been like polished.
Okay, I'm gonna pick that up. Does anything come to me straight away?
You should pick it up.
Tree genocide.
Yeah. So you sort of like pick it up, and what comes to you straight away is that you should really hand this to Gus.
Cool.
It wants to be with Gus.
Alright. I hand the one to Gus.
Did the crown work? Oh, you've had a stick!
Give me an intelligence roll.
That is a 10.
We've seen better days.
The stick is very familiar. It recalls images from your distant past, from when you were younger, spending time in the forest. But you're not sure why or what.
Grandma used to be.
My grandmother was nice. I was brought up in an affluent
Spear,
family.
what are you doing?
I don't know. What am I doing? What's going on?
So this thing, it just punched into the wall with its left hand. It used its body mass, pushed it in.
Now it's on fire.
It's also on fire. Part of it's like shearing, just parts of its skin and flesh and biomass just slurring away off its left-hand side. Its left leg that you attacked just before is weak and feeble and quivering.
Okay, I'm gonna try and cut its hand off.
Okay, cool. So you sort of like rush up, you rush forwards, jump up to where all the exploding stone and earthworks are caving in.
Yes.
And as the biomass sort of
Right,
recedes from it, you just go.
Yes,
Smite, baby.
I'll hit first.
19.
That's it,
the hit,
absolutely.
And then I'm going to smite. So 3, 6, 9. Plus 8 is 17. Is that 3? Oh no, it was 4. Right. So 17 plus 5 is 22. Most of that's radiant damage.
Yeah. The blade, you jump up, run up the earthworks that are providing quite a nice ramp now, as they've sort of like really disintegrated and pushed out, and you take a big jump and just chop down, and it goes clean through its arm. So its weakened leg and the biomass that's burning on one side causes it to fall completely down to one side, and it's on the ground. It's trying to do things, but it is quite the quivering mess at this point. The bit that you cut off that is writhing and slashing around inside of it, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
No, I'm good at these. 12. That's it.
Yep, does
I'm
it.
at 13.
13? Oh, cool. So you quickly just duck back as the lash-like tail end of it just sort of whips around and then slithers to the floor, and it deflates, and you hear a further rumbling going through the wall as your footing feels unsafe at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna jump back away from the caving in wall.
All right, awesome. A good idea. Thea.
You're looking unwell. You're looking unwell.
Quite unwell.
Yeah. You're probably closest to me at this point, though.
Yes, I'm also
Yeah.
probably the least well.
Yeah, so I've got some cure wounds.
Cleric it.
Level 1. And my daggers are just going straight through. I think you need to feel better.
Thank you.
So 1d8 plus.
High five of healing.
High 5 of healing. 1.
2 points of healing?
No, you get 4. It's not so bad.
It's gonna put you almost up to full, isn't it?
Healing.
If I'd rolled more than 1.
Could have healed me to full.
I could have, but I'm
Farrell.
Can I grab another brandy barrel? Liberally soaking some more bits.
Yeah, this time you just you get in a better position. You
Quake it in
one
there.
dexterity roll
Elf style.
quickly.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Get a
That's
great coverage.
24.
All of the rest of the quivering biomass is completely doused in this. But that's you.
Yep.
August.
I'm staring at the wand.
You look at it. Memories start rushing into your head. Images. They're not your memories. They're images from various druids who lived in the woods. The spore druids. The circle of the dank mound is the
This
name
was
that
meant to be
echoes
my
through your
home.
head. This was meant to be your home. It reaches to you, and you feel that as all of the network of spores that used to run through the entire circle of the dank mound has coalesced inside of this object and is now seeding in you. Do you accept its seeds? Do you wish to become the new progenitor of this circle and reinvigorate the circle of the dank mound?
I'll bring my little underdog, I've forgotten their names.
It's called Full Emperor.
What are they called there? For one moment. Myconoid, that's right. I'll take my underdark myconoid spores, which I have, and I'll mingle them with the dank mound. I'm a fungal infected body. There's room for everyone.
Okay, cool. So you all watch Gus as anyone who is not busy trying to save their own skins or escape
Save the
various
world, watching Gus destroy.
can see Gus these black spores start filling his eyes, his mouth, his ears, coming out of the pores of his skin, radiating around him, going out to about a foot, and then fully coalescing back inside of him. And you see he's glowing with like a dank green energy, holding
Nice.
this. But at this time, you also see the back part of the roof of the warehouse caves in, and you see the clouds have parted, and the moonlight shines through, and you see the wall is caved into 1/4 of its size. People are sort of rallying on the battlements either side of it, all shooting down, crying out to the scorpions and ballistas on either side that sort of are raining fire down to something that is unseen on the other side of that wall.
That's you guys. I'm going up there.
Bernard,
I scramble up the wall, the scree.
do you wanna quickly do a bonfire and kill this thing?
Kill what thing? That thing.
So Paral has just doused the other half. Oh, you don't need to.
No,
the fire
it's already on fire.
spreads and consuming the whole thing.
If there's one thing I've
You
learned
run
about
past
Brandy,
it. You're still able to get around the outside.
it's delicious.
You run up the earthworks, scrambling up the side, and you look down. Bridges have been landed across the moat. You see hundreds of orcs,
Yeah, I'm just
tens of ogres moving up ahead of the group, carrying giant palace-sized shields above them as the orcs are sheltered beneath them, and they are running towards this gap. You've got maybe 30 seconds before they start mounting this.
Bonfire. Wonder.
If you just
Wonder.
put a bonfire there, the army will literally turn around and leave. They've seen what those things can do. Just call out the archmage bonfire. Drop mic.
I could stand at the gap there. I'd like to free action bonfire for thematic effect only, but I'm just. The Archmage is here and says no! Wand of Wonder. Actually, snap the Wand of Wonder and throw all the charges down.
So what do you do? Bonfire behind you, Wand of Wonder?
No, Wand of Wonder, straight down the hill. Into the leading ogre, basically, there's a target.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
60 feet of rain.
There's like 80 feet of bridges that have just been jammed down.
Quadruple
They were
the ogre
prepared.
So
size.
59. Oh, no, 62.
62. Oh, that's disappointing.
What did we want?
So close.
Triple the ogre's
Another
size.
9.
Another fireball.
Well, when it's on the bridge, may
Man, it could work.
exceed the load-bearing
What did I
capability.
roll? 62. Oh,
62.
shit.
Grass grows.
Grass grows on the ground in a 60-foot radius centered on the target. If grass is already there,
Which there is not, because it's all bridges.
Okay, there's grass down on the bridges.
Uh-huh.
That's nice.
That's just happens.
Making them slippery.
The grassy
making
knoll.
them lush and
And
painful
more-
to orc feet.
It's more psychological warfare.
Alright, cool. Regardless, all of the bridges, like around the central point, starts going grass. People are like slipping up a little bit. It's a bit harder for the orcs to maneuver, but nonetheless, they push forward.
They're freaked out.
They will be there within 5 rounds.
Yeah.
You guys have a very limited amount of time. The thing is destroyed. It's on fire to a degree. What is it that you guys want to do in the period of time that you have?
Rouse the army!
I'm heading up on the walls and adding
Okay.
my weight into the thing. Somebody get that frickin' temple.
Um,
They are angry and they want to hit something.
I'm gonna. I think we should.
You guys have a second to talk. Feel free to coalesce. I'm going to give you...
Am I just like staring at a stick?
You don't need to. All of its memories are inside of you. You feel it. Well, not all of them, but you now have access
You're
to a
staring
well
at
of...
metaphorical stick inside you.
I turn around. I'm like, you will all be my slaves now. No, they're just kidding. It's fine.
I think
You're gonna
we.
be
I think
much
this.
easier to take
I
down.
think the city is lost. I think we should leave.
Wow! Jeez!
I think we should save our own skins, right? I think we should destroy as much of this fungus bullshit that's still left
No,
in
no,
this
the fungus
warehouse.
is fine now. It's good fungus now.
You're
And
the
I-
boss, Saria. You're the
That's-
boss. Call it. Put a pin in it. We'll get out of here.
So,
Take a bit of regular.
Is all the? Am I feeling a connection to all the
What about all the
poison
people?
fungus now?
what
No,
are we gonna do
The fungus
against
needs
an
to go
army?
How
We're
many
gonna
orcs
help.
are running towards
How?
us?
We can go.
it's the head of an
Some
army. It's like a
things.
unit, maybe like only
Oh.
600 or 700.
How
Short
many
of
entries-
fixing the hole in the wall, we got
Is
zero
it just this
options.
one hole they're all gonna
I
You've
have
got a Wonder
mending.
Wonder.
Yeah.
You can put grass on
So
everything.
this is their one place
I
where
got
they
one chart
breached
left.
the wall.
Yeah.
And do they have?
can put grass
you
on
said
one
they had,
thing.
I have
Bridges?
Yep.
mending.
How many bridges?
80 foot
wall.
worth of bridges they've dumped out.
Do
And
it.
there are
Mega
people with
mending.
reserve bridges.
I think in terms of saving our own skin, we should try to go through any like
The underground mines.
We can
if
hit
we
a
can
fallback
hit the underground. That would be good. But otherwise,
Wait a minute.
Carol,
Yeah.
let's just make a perception roll for me.
Couldn't we just like dump brandy all
great.
over this thing and set the bridge
7.
on fire?
7?
7's great.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that's fine. No, right,
Just
regardless.
spread-
Whatever.
spread
Yeah,
and
there's a few
notice
barrels of
everything.
wine up here. That seems nice.
They do actually look pretty good.
So,
All right, cool.
what do we know? We know that this orc army. What do we know about the orc army anyway?
They're
So you're
attacking.
saying we can't save the situation? Have we actually resolved this whole?
I
zombie
think if there are
The this fungus mass is dead.
if there are any, I think we should try to
What
do
about
it.
the demon that was the secret? Or there was a mind behind Straken's mind, right?
There was 2. I'm not connected to the fungal network.
And clearly its intention was for the orcs to breach the wall for some reason, and then perhaps to poison an entire army. I don't know.
I think we should leave, and I think we should destroy as much as we can as we're leaving. In terms of whatever's in this warehouse, and in terms of any bridges or whatever damage we can do.
Surely we can help some of the citizens escape too.
So instead of helping, you want us to raise the city on the way out?
No, well, I want
the-
to stop any fungal.
I want to
shit.
understand why there's a relationship between the orcs and the whatever.
Straken.
He was
Mind
spreading
and
chaos and
Straken.
death.
He wants death.
He wanted
And
to destroy
they'll all come in because the
all human
and then they
life.
will eat the food
Humanoid
that's here
life. The orcs aren't safe either.
and be poisoned.
So you're trying. You think they're just trying to poison the orcs with the.
It is more likely to be able to spread the fungal infection, which is not good, amongst a celebrating army that comes in, gorges themselves on whatever they find, versus a city with clerics that are organised that are looking for infection
The
outbreaks.
job now is to destroy this food. It is the vector of the disease into the orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Or
Yeah.
just cleanse
Because
the
it
spirit?
doesn't, honestly, it doesn't matter
We can't
who
cleanse
wins
anytime.
You
this
got-
war.
you got
It's just
5
one
rounds.
city. We've seen orcs take
5
territory
rounds?
before. This is just one city. You
Yeah.
know, don't
Yeah.
defend the regulars. We will survive, but we got to stop the plot.
Okay, so we've got 5 rounds.
Let's start spreading Blandy and burning things down.
Okay. So all I want to know is that you guys are going to try and burn everything in this warehouse.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and get.
That
rid
is
of-
our plan.
I'm going to try
Is
and
this the
buy a
only
bit more
location you
time.
assume?
Is there anything that can be done against these
There's nothing
hoarding
that you can
bridges?
do that adjacent baluster towers that guards rallying either side
The
are
hundreds
not
of
already
people
doing.
all
You'll
in.
just be another voice in
Okay.
the numbers. Yes, you can join them. Yes, you can help. Yes, you can be recognized as the people who do that.
Ooh, high five, everyone.
But if you would prefer to be right here, right
We
now,
actually need to save the orcs, as perverse as that sounds.
Yeah. The orcs aren't bad guys. They're just a culture that doesn't like here. But if that thing spreads,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
For that, I'm going to drop my second last spell slot and cast Detect Poison.
you are entirely surrounded by it. Everything in this warehouse is poison.
Yeah, that's what I
There
thought.
we go.
Everything has to go.
All right.
Closing down
You took a
sale.
swig. You're going too.
I had a
We'll
wine.
deal with you
It's
later.
true, and he is also slightly poisoned.
Oh, you drank the brandy. Was it any good? Because it's totally poison.
It was fantastic.
And within 24 hours, he's going to be completely correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so
we
we're
have-
gonna wand you.
Fine, we've got
Yeah.
a wand.
Could
I've
burn
got,
this.
Okay, I've got
I'm up for
I
a
think
little
3 or
wanding.
4 charges left
Archmage?
in the wand.
Bonfire.
Big bonfire. I'm getting out of it.
Let's smash the barrels.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm gonna start piling things in the center of the room.
you do quickly identify, Gus, the highest concentrations of the fungus, which is the wine barrels. So you focus the unicorn horn on those areas to completely purify them, also because they might potentially put out new fires. You work the brandy,
Yep.
just get it, and you guys manage to get this place ablaze and burn all of the food that could feed hundreds and hundreds of people in the city, and then make your way out of here. Do you also then join the people fighting on the battlements,
I-
or do you make your way out of this city?
I don't want to. I want to.
Remember, this is the southern city, which is the poorer side, where the docks are. There's also the northern city.
It's okay, it's not the good part of the city.
Can we not just help people escape?
I don't want to help them, but I think we should leave.
Why do you think we should leave?
I think we're some of the few people that know what's going on, and I think it's more important to preserve our skills and our knowledge than it is
We're not going
to.
to die.
All right.
To be fair, I was going to poo-poo you for being cowardly, but with the things I know now, that's actually very practical. Life will ebb and flow. These people will die. They will go back into the cycle. This is fine, but we need to track down. We can get people out of here, but we need to get out to stop the rot.
I'm staying to fight. You guys do what you want.
Says Spear as she runs up to the battlements via the channel that's created before the orcs rush up and take that breach after all the fires are set and blazing behind
I'm
you.
with Spear. Gus, you need to
Yeah.
survive and spread the warning. You and Buddy.
I think this
I-
might
I-
be the
And then I put my hand up for a
do.
shaking goodbye.
I go to shake you goodbye, and I do like the predator handshake, and in there is the healing potion. I'm like, you're gonna need this.
So,
I'm just like, I'm
and then
really...
I pop the lid. and I drink it
everybody,
immediately.
Peral, do you mount everybody except for Gus? Gus, you go to walk away and you look behind you as you see the proud members of the 3rd Daggerford Irregulars mount the battlements side by side one more time, as they have before, joined by the forces of the defenders of Mirabar.
I'm going to try and call from this wand my energy. I'm going to try and convert my 2 level 1 slots into 1 level 2 slot and leave them with the big buddy.
You're gonna leave?
Hmm?
You're gonna leave.
I can't die here. I can't get away, but I want to leave them with the big buddy. I want to stay, but if this is not the end of Straken's thing,
You've set all of the poisons ablaze.
but is there any? Because
Also,
didn't they go
dude,
elsewhere?
Yeah, we'd
This
stay
is-
here
There
until
were
the retreat.
We'll
It's
two
fight, and
others.
we'll retreat with the rest of
The
them,
never
and then we
retreat.
might end up in the northern city, and then we'll help defend
Because
that.
there
It'll be
was
fine.
the
We can
captain
heal
of
each
the
other. I got
regular.
like 4 health posters.
You stand.
What are you worried about?
Indecision cripples you, uncertain as to whether to carry on your legacy
He knows
or
what he
join
has
your
to do.
friends in the fight. The same indecision that saw you quaking like a child on the battlefield when you were first saved by Sarya and delivered from your
He's not the one.
angst.
He's not the one that
Oh,
needs
that's
And
to
the
live.
horror as you see it happening again. Orcs mount the battlements. Your friends fight, chopping them down left and right. Guards come in. You see some of them take damage. You see a conflict ensue as the fight continues and the flames burn the warehouse around you. It burns for a while, but it will not stem the tide. You fight. You get healed, and you fight with the forces, and you continue to get healed, and eventually they urge you to fall back. But you 5 are recognized. Sarya, Peral, Thea, Bernard, Slide, by the citizens of Mirabar as real heroes who fought on this day to save them from a fate that was inevitable, but your efforts stemmed the tide for a while. And that's where we're going to end this campaign, guys. Thank you very much for playing the Siege of Mirabar.
We lost, but valiantly.
This could be the great thing that I meant to have
didn't
done.
lose, we achieved.
We got
it.
No one knows about that part, though.
They don't know, but that's what makes us real heroes.
This could be
Thanks for watching The Siege of Mirabar, Story Arc 2 in Tabletop Dynasties' ongoing Dungeons & Dragons campaign, The 7 Masks of Mayhem. We will return in 3 weeks to further explore the adventures of the 3rd Daggerford Irregulars in a PAX-exclusive prologue video for Arc 3, A Path of Endless Sorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to stay abreast of all future releases from Tabletop Dynasties.